Hey there, my name is Amin. I'm the CEO of a children's publishing business. Today I'm reviewing KickoffLabs, and I give it a 5 out of 5. Before picking KickoffLabs, I'll be honest, I didn't even know what this technology was. I just knew that I saw it somewhere. It's called a milestone-based referral program. It means that if I invite 5 people or 10 people or 15 people, a customer gets a different level of gift. Now, the only technology we had before this was something called referral candy. It gave gifts for referrals. And so that was the only other comparison that I had to Kickoff Labs. But outside of referral candy, I had a difficult time finding any other software that provided a similar type of a service. I chose Kickoff Labs for 3 reasons. The first reason was just because of what it actually does. So for us, a big part of our business is to generate leads, and I'm sure for many other e-commerce businesses, you want to generate leads too. And so the exciting thing about Kickoff Labs is, say for example, I have a lead magnet, say a PDF on, the best children's books. All right. Well, someone is able to give me their one email address to download it. Great, I got one lead. But now by adding Kickoff Labs, I'm able to say, hey, if you share this with 5 friends or 10 friends or 15 friends, we'll send you an extra gift. For us, what that meant was we were able to put like high octane gasoline on this fire to generate just tons of leads. And it actually worked. So that number one is the biggest reason why I picked Kickoff Labs, because I thought to myself, wow, this is a pretty cool service that they're able to provide, and one that I wasn't able to find anywhere else. But number two, I like Kickoff Labs because it integrates. We use Drip as our kind of customer relationship management tool, and this integrates with Drip, meaning all of the leads that I get on Kickoff Labs automatically go to Drip, and I'm able to make sense of them and tag them in that way. I also liked Kickoff Labs for a third reason, and that is it was actually really easy to use. So not only do they have this back end functionality where you're able to, give, rewards for people who get 5, 10, or 15, or however many referrals, but it was super, super easy to use. So even someone like me who doesn't have a background in technology was able to figure out and use within 3 days. And I'll just say one more thing. Um, we today have something like 150,000 email addresses on our email list. I would guess that 75 to 80% of those email addresses came because of things that we ran on Kickoff Labs, which for us is huge. Integrating this tool into our business was pretty easy. The first thing that we had to do is we had to set up the integration with Drip, which is our CRM system. It's pretty simple. On Drip and on Kickoff Labs, there are instructions on how to do this. It requires getting something called an API key, putting it in, and setting it up. Honestly, it took us probably 5 minutes to do. That was not very difficult. A second thing that we had to integrate it with was something called lead pages. We use lead pages to create what's called a lead page. That sounds funny because the name is lead page. Anyways, it's called a lead page, and that's where we actually generate, or that's where we try to get a email address of the lead. The integration is also pretty simple there. There's a step-by-step instructions that Kickoff Labs provides the user on how to make that happen. Basically, you have to take code from Kickoff Labs, put it into lead pages. Once you click save, you're good to go. The third thing is actually setting up the actual referral campaign. I'll tell you, generally for our referral campaigns, it takes maybe 1 to 3 hours to set up. So it really isn't that difficult. And most of it is just dragging and dropping and figuring out what kind of content you want to put on there. So if it's a video you want to put on, well, you got to film the video. And if there's a gift that you're providing, well, you have to make sure you know what that gift is. Once you figure out those elements, I mean, it's pretty easy to do. If you're thinking about Kickoff Labs, I would recommend that you consider 2 things. The first is, how are you generating leads? If you are a business that is already generating leads, this is a no-brainer. You should get Kickoff Labs because, again, it's like instead of getting one lead, you're able to have a multiplier effect. For every one lead that you get, this encourages them to share it with their friends. And so why not, right? But you have to have a lead magnet or a strategy around that. If you don't have a strategy around that, it's probably not the right time to get Kickoff Labs. You have to have some sort of strategy on getting leads. If you don't have that yet, I'd recommend you wait for a moment until you figure that out. The second thing that you have to consider is the price. Kickoff Labs is not expensive, but given the value they provide, it's not expensive, but it does cost money, and it costs money based on the number of hits that your page gets. So, for example, if your page gets 10,000 hits, you have to pay a certain amount a month. If your page gets 100,000 hits, you have to pay a certain amount a month. And again, it's kind of a monthly contract. So for us, that was a little bit difficult because we know that there's only 1 or 2 months during the year when we're really, really, really using this solution, but we pay for it every month in order to just benefit from it for 1 or 2 months. And so that's the one thing that you have to be thoughtful about because, when you sign up, it is either a monthly or an annual subscription. I do think that you might be able to pause your account. I'm not sure. But those are the two things that I'd recommend you think about before you end up purchasing Kickoff Labs.